Love, love, until I feel the breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello, welcome to Spirit of Life. My name is Geraldine Lee, your host, and our guest is Corey Payton. He's a life coach from Life Horizons. Hello, Corey.
Hello, Geraldine.
Yeah, welcome back, because you came a while ago, but it's lovely to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too.
And you spoke on issues like conflict management and married life and things like that. And I hear that you've come up with a new program on life coaching.
Yeah, I'm working on a program at the moment, looking at who we want to be with, as you know, for those who are single, and who they're attracted to. Because there can be a difference. I've noticed that in the coaching, where a person can be attracted to a particular type of person, but who they really want to be with can be a completely different person as well. Yeah. So the program looks at asking a person a series of questions about who they want to be with, and we look at the spectrum of personalities. So, for example, someone that's outspoken, someone soft-spoken, and asking the question, okay, who do you most want to be with in that, and who do you least want to be with? And looking at the spectrum, finding out, okay, this is the particular personality you're looking for to really feel at home with. And I think it's been useful for me to do it, but also useful for singles to discover, you know, who is the type of personality they want to be with. Because when you're looking for that right person, you do really need to narrow it down. You know, some people pray for, okay, just send me a guy, you know, and it's not the best way of going about it, because you can end up being with, you know, the wrong person, and then years down the track realise. But with this program, hopefully it'll help people be very specific on who they want to be with, so that they can find them easier.
Yes, that's fantastic. I think it ought to be, people ought to go through a program similar to yours or from yours before they, you know, get married, because, you know, especially in Australia, I think only 1.8 marriages work out or something. It's pretty, and there's lots of people. Financially, it's such a strain, you know, like, you know, so many people are single parent homes, you know, and there's a lot of fracture of children, so there's a lot of repercussion for marriage breakdown.
Exactly. Yeah, and you want to get it right. Like, if your relationship is good, then life is good. And I know certainly for me, when I went through this type of program, and I do it one-to-one, but I'm wanting to make it more of a video program so other people can sign up for it. But what I found for me is that I noticed I was attracted to a certain particular type of person, and it was different to who I wanted to be with. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, the reasons for attraction can be varied, and, you know, it could be because we want to save a person, you know, we want to help that person, so we're attracted to that person because, you know, we like that significance of helping someone. But as soon as we help the person, then the attraction kind of leaves. It's things like that people aren't aware of.
So it's a subconscious kind of current pulling people.
Yeah, or it could be an attraction to someone that's similar to a parent, and you want to help them. And people don't realise that it can be a motivation behind their attraction.
Yes, I remember a friend of mine who, you know, I sort of saw a really nice guy for her, and I was wondering why she wasn't attracted to him, and then she said she liked the bad boys. You know? Yeah,
that's an example.
And yet this guy would have made a very good relationship for her, and, you know, unfortunately, being attracted to bad boys means there was a degree of, you know, abusive relationships.
Yeah, it could be, and it could be that, you know, a significant caregiver was a bad person in her life, so there's that attraction, you know, to want to be with those types of people because it's foundational to her growth. But but to learn, okay, who she really wants to be with, that's really important.
But how do you overcome chemistry? I mean, it's such a powerful thing, and then if you don't have any chemistry for the one person who's your chosen perfect partner, then how do you then have a sexual relationship? Or there's so many aspects of really. How do you want to be with a person?
Yeah, no, attraction is definitely very important, but I wouldn't say it's the main thing.
Right.
It's if it's the main thing, then it can be. You can end up with the wrong person. That's what I would like to say.
What you're saying.
Yeah, but attraction is still very important, but it's not the only indicator that you're with the right person. Because once you find out who you really want to be with, it's a person that you'll feel at home with. And that's what I'm wanting to help people, is to discover who they feel at home with.
Yes, not necessarily excited about, but maybe who they would feel comfortable with. Would you use that word?
Yeah, that's true. Like they might find someone they're attracted to, but then they'll be frustrated with them, because they don't know who they really want to be at home with, or who they feel at home with. Yeah.
Yes, I think the television tends to portray, sex and love, and it mixes up that thing where you see people have these affairs, and so I mean, to me, it looks like it's based a lot on the attraction and inverted commas lust, rather than, but it will be good for them, and then you see marriage breakdowns and all sorts of things.
Yeah, exactly, and you can see a pattern because with attraction, they've discovered that attraction can often last for 2 years, and then it peters out.
Oh, right.
And if there's nothing substantial there to help the relation keep going, then it'll die. And so you can see that pattern with celebrities who they get married, but then 2 years later they get divorced because that it's been that attraction that got them together. And it could be, I don't want to judge, but it could be something to do with the significance of being with an actor or actress.
Right. Yes,
that could be
especially during the movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
probably we need to go for a break now.
Yeah.
You've been watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Spirit of Life. My name is Geraldine Lee, your host, and our guest is Corey Payton. He's a life coach from Life Horizons, and we're talking about marriage and relationships. Hello, Corey.
Hi, Geraldine.
Welcome back again.
Thank you.
You were talking about how, people mismatch in relationships when they want to go out with someone, and we were talking about the attraction, and I was wondering about what would you do if you were attracted to people that you don't actually want to be your life partner, and how do you actually make yourself like someone who's good for you?
Yeah. It's, attraction doesn't stop. We're always attracted, to different people. And something to learn once you know who you want to be with is learning to say no to people that, you're attracted to, or they're attracted to you. Because if you know, okay, this is not going to turn out because it's not the personality or the person I want or feel at home with. So you can pick up quicker, okay, this is not right, and I need to say no. And it's hard to say no. It can be difficult because we feel like we're hurting the person. Again.
Well, there's a lot of pleasure involved with the attraction. Would you say?
Excitement as well. But it's learning to be responsible with who we want to be with and prepare for that. And what's good about having a list of knowing who you want to be with, then you can start thinking about that person or start praying for that person, because they're out there and, you know, they're going through life just as you're going through life, through the difficulties or facing attraction as well. So it's a good opportunity to pray for them, but also just to think about, you know, if I was with this person and this person was in my life and I was seeing them daily, who would I need to be, you know, for that person to come along? Because often we're not yet the person we need to be for that person to show up.
Right.
Because that's the most important
Working
question.
on yourself.
Yeah.
And what are
it's the
some
most
ways
one.
to work on yourself?
Well, yeah, to ask that question, you know, to visualise, okay, if I was with that person, had that person in my life, who would I be? What would I be doing? What would be my focus? What would I deal with in my life? And that's what comes up from that question is important to face, because if we know who we want to be want in our life, but we don't change who we are to attract that person, then that person won't turn up. Because that would be the saddest thing, that if the person that you're meant to be with turned up but then you weren't ready, like that would be really quite sad, because then the person doesn't need to hang around because you're not the person for them. So
Yes.
yeah, so that's a really important question to ask. But a lot of people don't get to that question because they're too stuck with the first dilemma is, okay, there's no one here. Where is that person? I've been praying to God and they haven't turned up, but they haven't worked on themselves and they haven't changed to, you know, to be ready for that person.
Yes. So there's a degree of self-control, isn't there? Because, I mean, I do have a friend that was, you know, who prayed for a relationship, and then because they didn't get one in their timing, they sort of just went out and sort of ended up with someone they didn't really want to be with, but they just wanted to be with someone.
Yeah.
And I think they lived with them for quite a few years, but then came back to their faith again, and tried to heal those wounds. Yeah.
Yeah, and because it is a lot to do with attitude, and when someone's been waiting and longing for that person, then the attitude can change. You know, you become bitter, or it can become, okay, I'll just take whatever. But yeah, it's learning to be efficient with your time. You know, not to spend it regretting, not to spend it worrying, but to spend it doing what you can do, and often that is bettering yourself, preparing yourself for that person.
And what do you think about like that first? I mean, I know some guys go out with girls who are attracted to them. Like the girls give them a bit of an idea that they're attracted to them, and because these guys have low self-image, they go out with those girls because they know the girls like them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like it's not really an attraction, but it's more that I like the fact that that person likes me. That kind of sort of an indirect way, isn't it?
Yeah, that can happen. But both men and women do need to know who they
really want. Yes.
Yeah, and then work towards that, because otherwise, they'll just end up with whoever. And
yes,
and
it
won't
might
go
not
well.
work. Yeah. And so there must be something about arranged marriages because for many centuries, a lot of cultures had arranged marriages. So I suppose that's where they know the character of their daughter or son, and they and the others know, so they are almost comparing notes. They're both parents,
That's
both
true.
sides. So maybe there's something to be said about arranged marriages.
Yeah, I think there is. There has been cases where arranged marriages, have that perspective where, the emotions are removed, so they're not thinking just with their emotions, as they call it. Love relationships can be purely through the eyes of attraction in the moment, and it's not smart. It's not wise that the personalities don't fit. But then not everyone says arranged marriages are good, because sometimes it could be convenient for the families, rather than thinking of, okay, who does fit, how do these people fit, and do they fit well. but certainly there's showing a balance between the two of attraction and who do you fit, or who do you feel at home with.
Yep.
Yeah, there needs to be, you cannot just be one's extreme. It has to be a balance between the two. Yeah.
There's life coach use, like Bible readings or scriptures. Is that part of your coaching?
Yeah, it can be. There's certainly a lot of wisdom in the scriptures, and it's good to use them. Jesus used metaphors a lot, and it's because our minds think in metaphors, so it's good to use them.
Yeah.
When it's necessary, and if the person can certainly relate to it, then the scriptures can certainly help.
Well, on that note, we need to go for a break. You have been watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us, and we'll be back after the break. Hello, welcome back to Spirit of Life. My name is Geraldine Lee, your host, and our guest is Corey Payton. He's from Life Horizons, and we've been talking about relationships, marriage, and difficult topics to deal with. Hello, Corey.
Hi, Geraldine.
So we were talking earlier on about attraction and relationships. What other difficult topics that come up in relationships that you have to deal with when it comes to especially marriage or couples?
Yeah, so for singles, often that's the topic, who finding someone they want to be with, and how to think about it, what attitude they need to have and stuff like that. So that's very important for singles. And other difficult topics I find in coaching that people bring up, we've spoken about one, conflict, how to handle with conflict, and also understanding the opposite sex in masculinity and femininity, and how that works together. And often there is a flow, and as they say, opposites attract. You can certainly see that with masculinity and femininity, but there has to be that flow. Otherwise, if in a relationship the masculinity is not very strong, then the female feels like she has to compensate. So she'll have to take control, and she'll have to lead the relationship with the masculinity. But that's not healthy. She can do it for a time, but to be doing it for a long time, to feel like she has to carry the man, or direct, deal with the finances, deal with the work, paying the bills and stuff like that, then it certainly can be draining on the female. So that's often a topic that comes up in coaching. And also, just difficult topics that people find it hard to talk about, like conflict, but also sex as well in the relationship, in the marriage. It can be hard to talk about it because there's a lot of shame around it, and but it's important to communicate with each other, especially because the female body is very different to the man's body, and how we work, it's different. A man can reach orgasm quicker than a female, and that's often to the detriment of the female. She often doesn't experience that in sex, so there needs to be communication for her to reach orgasm. But it's like what Pope John Paul II said about his theology of the body and understanding sex in marriage, is that the two should reach orgasm together, and if they do, then it's done well. But often there's a problem for each partner
simultaneously.
Yeah, but not necessarily simultaneously. It could be
part of the marriage.
As part of the marriage, they should at least both be reaching that point. But what often happens is the man reaches it, and then the female misses out. So, and it's a difficult topic. It's hard for them to talk about it. You know, it's embarrassing sometimes, but there does need to be communication to help the female to feel nourished and cherished in that. Otherwise, they'll feel neglected. They'll feel, that they're just doing a task for the husband. You know, it becomes a chore.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be a chore. It should be something that's beautiful and something that's shared together and bring about a healthy relationship. Yeah.
And you say that the key is the communication, being able to talk. Being able to.
Yeah.
If people find it's so much shame, should they write to each other, or should they get a mediator if they can't actually articulate it? What would you say would be?
Yeah, it could be just learning a particular question. You know, some people find it so hard that they, they use words, different words, to communicate to the partner that it's not going well. They might one couple talked about using the word refrigerator, like as if to say that, I'm not feeling good here. This is not good.
Okay.
They might just use that word. So it's a neutral word because, if they use particular words like I'm not getting an orgasm, then there's a lot of shame around that.
All right. So are you saying that they could cure it by using another word that doesn't make them feel so much shame?
Yeah, if they find it difficult.
So you give them other words to express the same thing.
Yeah, different ways of communicating it. That is, not as confronting. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fantastic that you help couples to actually face those things that, really if they can overcome those feelings of shame, it could make such a good marriage, because people go, doing a bit of counseling myself and praying with people. I've seen, that shame is such a awful feeling that people do so many things to avoid feeling shame. But what you're saying is that if people could talk about it and maybe bring God into it through prayer, as you were saying that with your wife and you pray a lot in your relationship, don't you?
Yeah, and that's been really good for us, particularly before going to bed. We'd pray together, and it's good for me because often I'd hear things that I did that, she might be thankful for, and as a man it's really good to hear that stuff, like it's positive affirmation. So
you have times of gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude.
That's fantastic.
That's been really good, and also with a baby on coming along, it's great to pray for the baby as well and to feel it kicking. It's just a little thing, but it's beautiful. It only takes a few minutes. But
so each of you just say a spontaneous prayer to the Lord,
Yeah.
and you're listening, and in that listening, it's sort of like communicating too.
Yeah, it's communicating to God, but it's also communicating to each other, and it's a precious moment.
Yeah.
That sometimes you feel tired and you don't feel like doing it, but I always
make a point to
do it.
That's fantastic to have that ritual.
Yeah.
But I suppose you with the Life Horizon, other people can contact you if they need to, talk further about some issues.
Yeah.
You've got a website, Life Horizon.
Yeah, life-horizons.org.
Good.
Yeah, you can catch me at Life Horizons.
Fantastic.
Coaching. Yeah.
So thank you so much and for speaking, and I wish you all the best with
Thanks.
your work.
Thanks, Geraldine.
You've been watching Spirit of Life. Goodbye and God bless you.
Bring it to birth and blow where you will. Blow, blow, blow till I be but breath of the Spirit.